TF2 has a lot of overrated and underrated maps. A good example of an underrated map would be any map from the Jungle Inferno update. Seriously, I think TF2 players just hate new stuff. And by new, I mean 4 years ago, thanks Valve. Every map from Jungle Inferno is like, at least pretty decent. None of them have glaring flaws, they have interesting layouts, and most of all are visually interesting and fun to look at. I think the TF2 community has a serious nostalgia problem. I think it's most obvious when there's a map vote and people unironically choose Barn Blitz over Enclosure. Enclosure, by the way, being my favorite Inferno map, it has a nice blend of open areas, enclosed spaces, and flank routes, and the theme is incredibly new and fresh and interesting instead of just, you know, American Desert map number 567, or, hey, this map is interesting because it has snow. Haven't seen snow in TF2 before now, have ya? You know, the snow that gets removed in competitive versions of the map anyways. I always ask people, like my brother Buzz, what they don't like about Enclosure, and what it usually boils down to is Buzz.
What?
I'm doing a survey. What is your opinion on PL _enclosure?
Fucking dog shit.
Okay, why?
I don't like it.
Use your fucking brains instead of your nostalgia glasses for one goddamn second, TF2 players, that's all I ask. One criticism I do have about Enclosure is that it's a multi-stage payload map, which is fine except they do take a long time. So if you're impatient or don't want to waste your life sitting in up to 6 different setup times, then I can understand that, but at least give the map a chance, man. It's awesome. But this video is not about Enclosure, it's supposed to be about overrated TF2 maps, which there's a lot of them. A lot of overrated maps, people will at least admit that they're bad. Some examples would be Dust Bowl and Two Fort. People will say, yeah, I know these maps are egregiously dogshit, but I like to play them and I did just have some dumb fun. Which I can totally get behind that mindset. Even I enjoy a game of Turbine every once in a while. The problem I have is when people try to convince me that we will have a balanced gaming experience if we all vote for PL Badwater for the 800th time in a row. That's right, this video is about Badwater. Who would have guessed? There was that one video of that guy talking about Badwater for 12 hours in a row because he liked it so much. Which, as funny as the concept of that video is, it's really depressing that somebody can be so brainwashed by their fond memories of the map that they think it's worth talking about for 12 hours straight. Now, I need to lay out a disclaimer that it's okay to like Badwater. It's okay to love Badwater. Hell, it's even okay to think it's a balanced map. You're entitled to your opinion, even if it's egregiously wrong. Now let's talk about what I like about Badwater first, which is not much. The first area of the map is like, okay, this open-ish desert-like part. I like how the payload goes under the map, but you still have to like fight for the upper ground. It gives a bunch of classes different roles. It's still a sniper hell though, and it's still way too easy to get spawn camped. Seriously, you can just snipe into their spawn with very little drawbacks. Once that part of the map is over though, it becomes what Badwater truly is. Hallways. Holy fuck, if I had to describe Badwater in one word, it would be hallways. Why does it all have to be hallways? I don't get it. If I had to describe Badwater in 2 additional words, it would be choke points and sniper sightlines. I guess that's 3 words, whatever. Choke points and sniper sightlines are like generally considered to be 2 very bad things for game balance, and yet Badwater is praised as this holy example of perfect game design. Why? I mean, the answer is because people have been playing it for a very long time and have fond memories of it. But anyways, this first hallway area is a nightmare. You cannot push through without getting sniped and or spammed by projectiles. Now I know what you're thinking, but Mr. YouTube Voice, you're a demo main. Shouldn't you love choke points? Well, it's true that I do love getting kills with my favorite class. There's something I love even more. Fucking game balance. Plus, I don't give a rat's ass about getting kills if those kills weren't earned, which is why I hate random crits too, but that's another video. That's been done by 500 people. There are flank routes on this part of the map, and by that I mean one flank route that is also a choke point, because if they have teammates set up here, you are not going to be able to push through this doorway. Not to mention your spawn is still all the way back here. That's right, this map has no forward spawns until all the way at the last checkpoint. You seriously have to walk all the way through the entire map to fight for the last checkpoint. Most maps give the attacking team new forward spawns for most checkpoints, but the Badwater dev said, no, we like when maps are bad actually, which is why the map is called Badwater. Yeah, I bet you were waiting for that joke. Now, it's worth mentioning that the pro version of the map, which is the version used in serious competitive play, has a bunch of adjustments. One of which being an entirely new forward spawn for blue, which is right in this little area. And yeah, I bet if Valve actually gave a shit about the game and replaced maps with the community-made revised versions, I would hate a lot of these maps a lot less. But they won't do that, so I still have to walk across the whole map every time I die in a pub. This is one of those pub maps where if you don't have an engineer constantly building teleporters, you will be at a massive disadvantage. Even at the last point where you finally get a forward spawn, your spawn is still like 10 years away from where the action will be happening. And that brings me to my final point, which is the final point. This is probably the worst part of the map, which is saying something. If you thought dealing with snipers in the previous parts of the map was bad, then oh baby, you're in for some shit. You can put snipers here, you can put snipers here, you can put snipers here, you can even put snipers here, and there's very, very little you can do about it because, as you know, the only legitimate counter to sniper is to have a better sniper than they have. That's some game balance for you. And then there's the sentries, which aren't a huge deal because, you know, I played demo, so I can just throw some stickies here, and bada bing, bada boom, sentries down. But that's extremely hard to do when you're getting sniped constantly from every angle. If you don't instantly full cap on this map, you will be stuck on this dumbass point for at least 10 whole minutes. What the fuck? I don't really know how to end this video, so I'll end it with this clip.